Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today I'm going to do a comparison of two red dot sights. They're not the highest price, they're not the lowest price. These are what I would call good mid-range red dots, and one is the Vortex Viper and the other is the Burris FastFire 3. At one time you could have got them about the same price. Back during a few months past, the Vortex Viper and the Vortex Venom were both about 180 bucks. You can find the Burris FastFire 3 for about $180. Since then, the Vortex Venom went out of stock, and the Viper price went up to $230, and that's the, I suppose, prices you can find the Burris FastFire 3 most places. If you want to get it down at the 180 price, you're going to have to do like me and search it out. Okay? Now these two red dots have got a lot in common. They've both got a forever warranty. Anything wrong, you don't need a receipt, you don't need paperwork. You just send it back to them, they fix it or send you a new sight. That's pretty much better guarantee than you can get on almost anything these days, and certainly takes the worry out of buying their product. So let's turn around and take a look at the boxes they come in. And before we get a lot further into this review, this is not a sponsored review. Nobody gave me these sights. I paid for them out of my own pocket, so you can be assured I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, and I'm probably going to be as critical as anybody would be, I think. Viper and the Burris both come in about the same size box. They both got a nice foam lining inside, you know, to keep everything from rattling around with all the little pockets. The Burris box is kind of unusual in that the foam in it is actually kind of sticky. I guess that keeps things from falling out. There's the extra screw. They both give you extra screws, and I think that's probably really good idea, knowing how clumsy I am at cleaning things and dropping things and letting things vibrate apart. They both come with a cleaning cloth. They both come with an instruction manual, and they both come with tools. With the Vortex Viper, you get a Torx bit tool and a regular screwdriver bit tool. Both look like Allen wrenches. With the Burris FastFire 3, you get an actual screwdriver and a Torx wrench that looks like an Allen wrench. So from there, all you got to do is to crank open the instruction manuals and read how they work. There's a little difference between the two, and I'll start out by doing the one on the left, and we'll work into everything from there. Now, when it comes to red dots, there's red dots and then there's red dots. You can get them in cheapies that come from around a $20 range up to $700 or $800. These two that we're going to describe today are both in the $200 range, and I think they're both probably pretty much comparable in their capabilities and their service. So what we'll do is I'll reposition my camera, and we'll start on the left with the Vortex Viper. The Vortex Viper comes in two different choices of dots, red dot size, a 3 MOA and a 6 MOA. And if you're wondering what's MOA, that's minutes of angle at 100 yards. You can see the red dot right there. Okay, both of these weigh about the same. The Vortex Viper weighs 1.1 ounces. The length of it is 1.8 inches, and it comes with a Picatinny mount. You can get other mounts for them all over the place, especially on eBay. The objective lens diameter is 24 millimeters. It's got an unlimited eye relief, and it uses a CR2032 battery. The color of it is black. It's water resistant to 1 meter. The height of it is 1.02 inches and the width is 1.81 inches. Of course, it's parallax free. The adjustment click value at 100 yards is 1 MOA, which means a diameter, a 1-inch diameter circle. Okay? By the way, everything that you see here in the way of a firearm is unloaded. That's for you safety Nazis. The lens material is glass. It's coated with Armor Tech, and the chassis of the thing is aluminum alloy. The optical coating is fully multi-coated, and the illumination color is red, and it's supposed to be shockproof. So that should give you about as good of a size and weight as you could ask for. Now, the controls on these are both a little bit different. All right, the controls on the Viper are here on the side. You got an up button and a down button, and the up button will go up to 10 different levels of illumination, and the down button will take it back down to lesser illumination, if that's what you want to do. Let's get that slide out of the way. It's bothering me. Alright. If you want to turn this one off, you can hold in the down button for, oh, I don't know, 15 seconds, and then it turns the light off. If you don't want to turn it off, it'll turn itself off automatically after 14 hours. I've tested this and it works. I don't know the exact battery life on this red dot, because I haven't had it long enough to wear out a battery. But I did take it, and every day for a week I would turn it on early in the morning and check it 14 hours later, you know, see if it was about ready to turn off, and it would turn itself off. So I did that on a battery that had already been run down in one of these other sites. It wouldn't light up these guys here. So I know that it's going to last a long time on a battery. And I gave up and put a new battery in it before I went to competition, because I didn't want it to run dead on me in the midst of it, not knowing how good that battery was. The battery on the Vortex Viper is a CR2032. That's the same battery that fits about all these guys you see out here in front of me. And I always buy the lithium battery. This one, the battery is installed from underneath, so when the battery does run down, you've got to pull these two screws right here and take it off, replace the battery, and put it back on. There's another model of this called the Venom, which has the battery compartment on the top, and that's the one I had started out trying to buy, and they were out of stock, so that's why I have the Viper. And like I say, I'm happy with the Viper, so I feel like I got my money's worth. Alright, now then, you've got up here, you've got elevation adjustment. Over here on the side, you've got your windage adjustment. Before you adjust them, you have to loosen these two screws on the back. Loosen them up, make your adjustment, and then tighten these two screws back down. Alright, this thing comes with a Picatinny rail mount, and sets really well on the Picatinny rail on my Mark III Hunter. I think that's probably about where I like it best. I've already used this one in competition, and I'm very happy with it. I've noticed that sometimes people, when they first start out, that you can panic for wobbling around trying to find that dot. Well, on this one, if you'll notice that you can see right through the glass, you can see the front sight. So you put the front sight right in the middle of things, rotate it down, and there's your dot. That's pretty reassuring. So if you stand up to the line and you're waiting for the buzzer to go off, just bring it up, get an idea of where your front sight's at, and just rotate it down, and there's your dot. The good thing about a red dot is you don't have to line up a front sight and a rear sight notch, which is sometimes pretty hard to do and pretty sloppy. You just put that red dot on what you're aiming at, and that's where it's going to hit. All right. This one comes with a nice little cover, keep the dirt and crud out. All right, let's move on to the Burris FastFire 3. The Burris FastFire 3 got a black sort of a matte finish, or what I always call sort of a dull finish, and it's a one-time magnification just like the Viper. The objective lens diameter is 21 millimeters. The length is 1.8 inches. It weighs 0.9 ounce. I haven't weighed it. I'm not sure if that's with the Picatinny mount on the bottom of it or without it. But if it's without it, then it'll probably weigh identical to the other sight. And the field of view is 190 feet at 100 yards. I don't know exactly what the field of view on the other one is at 100 yards, but it's got to be comparable because the sights are almost exactly the same size. And it's weather resistant and water resistant. They advise you, if you had it in salty or dirty water, to rinse it out with distilled water and dry it good so that it doesn't rust or corrode or whatever. The reticle is a single dot just like the other one, and it's red, and the adjustments on it are 1 MOA per click at 100 yards. The sight width is just a little bit less than the Viper, but probably you wouldn't notice if you'd held one at one time and the other at another. But just like with the Viper, you look through there, see your front sight, rotate it down, and there's the red dot. Now this has a different set of operating instructions. It's got a one button on and off right here. It's got a one button on and off right there. The first click on puts it on automatic, and it adjusts the brightness of the dot depending on the light level that you're around. The second will put it on click of that button. We'll put it on the highest brightness setting. Third click will put you on the medium brightness setting, and the fourth click will put you on the lowest brightness setting. It's got 3 manual levels, and a fifth click will turn off the sight. It's got a nice feature in that if the battery is starting to get too low, the dot will start to blink once every 5 seconds. Or it blinks twice every 5 seconds. So that'd be a good warning to you that the battery's down to less than 4 hours, around 4 hours left of service left. I always carry extra batteries just in case. Okay. You have your elevation adjustment on the top, just like the other one, and your windage adjustment on the side here. This is where you tighten down the Picatinny rail. Right here in the front, I don't think you can see it, but that's the little sensor that tells it what the light level is. The battery goes right in on the top. And it comes also with an extra cover. I suppose this cover is for storage. It goes right over the top of it like that. It's a little tight, but it had it on there just a minute ago. Well, I shouldn't do that right in the middle of a review. But anyway, the cover snaps right down over it, comes back off. This dot in this scope comes in 2 sizes. Comes as a 3 MOA dot or an 8 MOA dot. I ordered the 8 MOA because the bigger the dot, for what I'm using this for is competition shooting up at 50 yards or less, and the bigger the dot, the faster I can get it on target. so I chose that. My the Viper, now you chose a 6 MOA dot. The battery compartment is on top of the Burris. You just unscrew it with a flat screwdriver, put your 1632 cell in there with the plus side up, and screw her back down. And you don't have to get it too tight. It's got a nice seal that'll keep it waterproof. Now supposedly the Burris doesn't necessarily come with a protective cover. You can buy those in packages of 2 for $10 off of eBay and other places. But it does come with this cover right here, which in my opinion is just as good of a protective cover as you're going to want. So you can still operate the on and off button and right there on the side of it with this cover on. I guess, I'm not sure what's the purpose of this cover. It doesn't keep you from seeing anything, and I'm guessing that that it's just to keep the rain off of it or something, or maybe it's for when you're storing it. It didn't tell me in the instruction book what the cover was for, but it came with it. That's what they look like side by side. Let me take the cover off this guy. That's what the two red dots look like side by side. I know I can't show you the dot in each of them at the same time because I'm just not that agile. I don't think that I don't know for sure what you can see. I tell you the truth, but anyway, you can see they're almost identical in height and width. The Burris is a tiny bit narrower than the Viper, but it looks to be exactly the same height, or give or take a little. When you're ordering the Burris sight, you need to look into what sort of mount comes with it. You can buy it with no mount, with a Picatinny mount, or with a mount for some specialized pistol. So don't just assume that you've ordered the one with the mount you want. Read the entire description and make sure you get the one that mounts to your particular pistol. Well, as far as these two sights are concerned, I'm sort of at a loss to say which one I like the best, because I've been using the Vortex for longer and I like everything it does, but then the Burris has got the automatic brightness level and the low battery warning and things like that, and looking through them, I get a nice big dot, and they're easy for me to use, and basically I like the both of them, and that's why I've got the both of them instead of just one or the other. I can't say that you would go wrong buying either one of them, because I think they're, they seem to be made to be good quality equipment. Now, I did on some of the reviews here that maybe there had been some quality control problems with some of the Burris arriving at with problems, but like I say, they have a no questions asked warranty. If you get one that's got anything wrong with it, just send it back and they'll replace it with a new one. Now, the batteries that you get with them, they're plain Jane cheap batteries, and they may well be dead on arrival. That's, if something doesn't work, that's the first thing I'd do is measure the voltage on that battery and see if it's got any. I know that the one of the Vortex battery came dead as a doornail, so that's a good thing to keep up with. Have a few extra batteries. I don't think you'll use very many with either one of these sights. It's kind of amusing to see the export warning on these sights. It says there may be export restrictions on these sights, and I kind of thought that was funny, because I mean the Vortex is made in China and the Burris is made in the Philippines, and I would guess you could order them from anywhere in the world without ever going through the U.S. anyway. The world of rules is kind of weird, isn't it? Now, anyway, let's go and see what Bubba's up to. Bubba and Cooter down on the old Army training grounds, you know, walking along, and they saw this little box sticking out of the dirt, so they picked it up and opened it, and there was 3 hand grenades in it. And so they looked at them a little bit, and then they decided, well, maybe we ought to go and turn them over to the sheriff. So they're walking along with him, and Cooter stopped Bubba, and he said, Bubba, he says, look here, he says, what if one of them hand grenades goes off before we get down to the sheriff's office? Bubba says, nothing to it. He says, we'll just lie to them, tell them we only found 2. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.